Alright, welcome to my life story, part 3. This is the epic finale, and you're gonna wonder why I'm wearing this thing. You'll see later. It's, I don't know. I forget what they call this crap now. It's everything that you have in your kitchen. But, the week of terror. The week of terror was the last full week I had at school. Because of something that happened, I got sick. But, so pretty much what happened was, also, this week, that week that I was talking about earlier where they jumped us on the bridge thing, that Friday, we were sitting in class, because we were at computer class, me and a person out, and then once we were done, we would go back to class, so we were the only ones there, and she was talking to us about something that had happened to her at home, and she was telling us about, like, that she was getting abused by your father, and she said it quietly, which actually I'm surprised that I was able to hear because I have bad hearing, but she apparently was being abused and molested by her father, and she was only 11 years old, I think, 10 or 11 years old, and she was being molested by her father, and on her arm she had some scars, which honestly, that's never what I thought they would be from, but yeah, she said that he had abused her and raped her before, and I was just like, terrible, and I was like, dude, well, you gotta say something about it to the teachers, and it was like, he's like, no way, because if, my dad finds out, he's gonna beat my mom to death, pretty much, because her father had issues, extreme issues, but so that, I heard about that, which was just weird. And then, so, now that that's out of the way. But, now that that part is out of the way, the week of terror. Actually, on Monday was probably, I think that was the last day that I saw Carly. It was one of the, that week was the last week that she was there because of, what happened. So, she came into school, it was the morning, and she's walking, and her pants, there's like a little, short little thing sticking out. It was like, what's that? And she didn't even know that it was there either. So she looks down, it's there, she pulls it up. It's a wet Q-tip. And it was right here, so she and we were assuming that, her dad was sticking wet Q-tips in her vagina, which is just disgusting. That's inhumane, especially to do that to your own daughter and a child. That's just disgusting. So, the teacher sees that, and it's like, what do you think that is? And then she explained what she thought it was. So, what happened was, they called, CPS, Child Protective Services, and Carly's dad went to jail for rape and abuse. Child abuse in particular. And she and her mom, Carly would go with her mom, and they moved somewhere else. I don't know where, I think they're still in the state, but I don't know. So that happened, which was weird, which is a weird way to start off that week of terror. And then, a recess that day, she was still here for that day and Tuesday. I think that Wednesday was her last day, or the day that she wasn't there. Tuesday or Wednesday was her last day. But, so, the fighting, that, on Monday, we really didn't fight that much, the two groups. But I heard them talking about how they're gonna kill us, which of course they're not gonna kill us, but they might actually beat us up. Which I wouldn't be surprised if they would've. I'm surprised that they didn't beat us up as much as they did, or as much as they wanted to. But, so, pretty much we walked near them just to kind of just kind of eavesdrop on them, whatever, I don't care. So we walk up to them, and they're all sitting there talking, and one of them sees me, and they're like, homies, or whatever, because they're trying to act like gangsters. So he's like, homies, look at these ninjas, and then they all run out, and they're chasing us, and then this girl, there's a girl standing there, and she was larger, so they start picking on her, because for some reason they stopped chasing us whenever we got to that bench area. So they started picking on this girl, and the one guy, I think it was Reaper. Or it was Prowler. Prowler started picking on. The code names are so stupid. I'm just going to use them anyway because I can't remember half their names. Anyway, I can only remember their code names because this happened a while ago. This was like beginning of 2014, so almost 2 years ago. So, they start, well, it was actually like June, but, so, pretty much, what happened on that whole affair is that they were picking on this girl, and, Prowler calls this girl, this is so stupid, a fat elephant sucking on a hippo's anus. That is just, that's weird. So, that's what they call this girl. And guess what? This girl was having a drink or something, like not jeans juice. Yeah, but he just, alright, let's make this joke. I don't know. So, guess what? After he calls her that, she just gets her juice, bows him in the face with the jeans juice, or whatever they call it. Bow him in the face with that jeans juice. Just smacked him in the face with the juice. And just freaking screamed, and they didn't get in trouble, but they got yelled at, and they weren't able to, they had to sit or whatever, so we didn't get beaten up that day for that, because they decided to stop and make fun of some girl. So, that was weird. So, Tuesday. This is where this thing comes into play. So, we did actually fight on that bridge again. It was just me and Mark this time. We were just walking. We were going over, because Connor was or somewhere else with one of his friends. So, it's me and Mark. We're going to go talk to Casey about this whole situation, because he wasn't hanging out with them. So, they come up. And, the thing where Mark, got, like, kicked onto, it was not the metal thing. It was, like, the plastic. It's not actual plastic. It's not plastic. But the thing I was talking about there, that's where we were. And then Prowler comes up to me, just slaps me, and I smack my arm extremely hard into that thing. And I think it popped out of place. I thought it popped out of place when it happened. And I'm just screaming like, ah! And I'm just like I just sit down for a second. He punches Mark. Luckily, he's able to grab it, but the punch wasn't hard. So Mark was able to just get up and be like, dude, I don't want any trouble with you. And then Prowler tries to punch him, and he just kind of ducks down. He's trying to play the defender. That's usually what we did, was just play defender. We really never did any damage to them. We pretty much just defended ourselves from them. So he's just blocking the punches. My screaming attracted other people, and they saw what was going on. They told the teachers, and he got in trouble, and he wasn't allowed to have recess for, like, the rest of the week. So, well, he had recess on Friday, which, that's a bullcrap punishment. I mean, it really is. It's almost fakey, but that is literally the dumbest thing I've heard. But it's because the punches, he wasn't actually really attacking him. He's just like, ugh, because these kids were wimps overall. Besides the fact, whenever he punched me, I wasn't expecting it. Just, and of course, I was to my side, so it was actually this way. Just, and of course, where he punched me right here, so that was really lucky. But, because they didn't see the whole thing, this thing's completely, So, I actually thought my arm popped out of place. It turned out it didn't, but I think it actually did, but it didn't at the same time, like, slightly, like, it got messed up. I know it did. Alright, so, here I'm going to take the fake arm sling off. Tape I used to put one together because it's not the original one. Alright, so look at this. I'm going to have my arms up like this. See? Look at that. Look at that. And then just, again, hold on. Be like, just, oh, I can't really do this because there's a box in the way. But be like, no, I gotta get right on per. There you go. It's always that way, but occasionally it'll mess up because how it is. If I just go even like that and then center it, this one's always up more. Always, if I do it correctly. And dang, that hurts. So I do know that I did mess up my arm. So what I did is I got home and I decided I would trick them into thinking that they actually popped my arm out of place. So I made this fake arm sling with, forget the name of it. It's an everyday appliance. You know what it is. It's the stuff that you used to, like, clean off your dang covers, or your covers, and, like, your dang everything. Like, your tables. Toilet paper. It's not toilet paper. It's, like, something like that. Hold on. I don't got much time left. I have 10 minutes left, actually. Don't got. Their speech has infected me. But, so yeah. Made this. I was like, alright. Tomorrow, I'm gonna just set it up. We're halfway through the week of terror. We can make it through this. I'm gonna strike a deal with Casey. He comes back with us. We all go to them, and we're like, boom, boom, boom. We're actually gonna fight back for once, which was actually a dumb idea, which we never pulled off because we realized it was a bad idea, luckily. So, I'm like, alright, I got this fake arm sling. I'm good to go. That actually can hurt. Not really good. I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to screw my arm. I can't really move it as upwards, so I'm not going to try to, but it does hurt, so I'm not going to mess with it. But, so, I don't have the arm sling on during classes or during lunch, because I know that they'll realize that it's fake, but luckily we're not in the same class, so whenever it comes to recess, just get my backpack out, sitting over there. It's sitting in a spot where the teachers can't see it, so I pull out the fake arm sling. Well, I had to actually make it there and there. So I make the fake arm sling, I put it on, and I go over. They're stupid enough. I didn't think it was going to work. They were stupid enough to think it's a real arm sling because they didn't really get close to me till the next day. So they thought I was injured, and it was like, oh man, I want you to go check that out, Reaper. He comes over to us, and I still kind of sit like this. I sit like he's over there. He's in that direction, so he can't see the fake arm sling as well. So I'm just like this, and it's like, hey, what's up? Well, I wasn't like, hey, what's up? It's like, what do you want? More like, because I was so fed up with their crap. And he's like, yo, man, did we break your... Yeah, he said, did we break your dang arm, ninja? Of course, like I said earlier, ninjas, N-word, these things. So, yeah. They thought I broke my arm. Or it popped out of place. I guess they just didn't know the difference because they're so stupid. So... I was like, well, it's messed up, that's for sure, which I think it probably actually was messed up because it was in serious pain. So it was like, ha ha ha, he was like, ah ha ha, he was like, I need to go tell him. And then he said, we're going to leave you alone for a day. Give you some time to heal up so you can fight back this time. He said something like that. And I was like, alright, whatever. Goes off, tells him that my arm was messed up, which it wasn't, like, I could still use it, but I didn't want to, and because I was afraid that I will injure it, because it did hurt whenever I got smacked in there, and I do think there's something wrong with it, because, there you go, so, yeah, I got the fake arm sling on the next day. I just don't want any teachers seeing it on me, because they'll think that it's fake, and then then the kids will find out that it's fake, and there you go, my whole act ruined. So, this thing's kind of torn up, but, so, what we do now is, it's Thursday. So, we do fight. This time, he tries to rip it off my arm. He realizes it's fake. So he tries to get a punch in on me. I just, right. And it's funny, because the air from this is why he screamed, because his ears. It was phantom. He's like, ah! He backed off and he was like, get those ninjas! So he comes up to me, I'm like, and it's funny because I can't do it anymore, but I practice like a kind of martial arts, like opening. I did that, they freaking run. There you go. That's how I did it. Thursday, they didn't mess with us. They messed with Casey, though. And they were dropping Casey. They were pretty much, yo, man, go get back with them. They slapped Casey across the face, knocked him to the ground. He ran back up. There you go. And then the next day, Friday, luckily, I didn't get beat up that day. Or, well, actually, pretty much none of us got beat up that day because of what happened yesterday. Which is actually kind of stupid because I'll tell you why. That was the day I went to court. I went to court that day for, I'd missed so many days because of my migraines that I talked about earlier, because of my eye issue. I had migraines, so I had to go to court. So, I had to go to court, and it was about the migraines and about how many days I'd missed at school. And I think we had to pay a fine or something like that, which was stupid. So they're like, yep, send him back off to school, pay the fine or whatever. So I was in court. I don't know who they ruled in favor of, but they just said, alright, whatever, we'll let it pass this year. because I hadn't missed a day at all that year, or that month, actually for like 2 months, which would change drastically. But so yeah, this was also the time that I nearly drowned at my swimming class, which was stupid because it was my first day. I didn't really know how to swim. Trust me, it was really stupid. So I almost drown, and it's just like someone just catches me after like 15 seconds of it, and then for some reason, of course, there was no way for me to back out of it then, which was stupid. But there was no way for me to back out of it, so I beat that dang class. I went my way through it. I swam the whole thing, the deep section, complete thing, like 17 feet whole. Not 17 feet, 17. It was like, no, it was more like 30 yards of water. Half of it was shallow, half of it was deep. I don't know, it was a big pool around the size of this entire basement. The pool itself, the water. So I beat that dang class out. So Friday, I go back to school from after going to court. So I ruled in favor. Don't have to do anything. I think we had to pay a small fine. But so I get back. I still had the fake arm sling in there anyway, so I just kept it in there in case I would just throw it on, because Prowler was the only one who realized it was fake. I don't think he told the other ones. So I knew that this was the final way that we could tear. They were gonna beat us up, and they were actually gonna try to this time. Except for they wouldn't target me; they'd wait for me to go away from them. But I was gonna stick with them anyway. But today I was so sick. I had a fever. I was starting a fever, and it was so bad. I looked like a freaking ghost. Well, I already do, but my skin was white. I was like, I was like, I literally just right on the book on my desk for like 5 minutes, and was like, get up. It was terrible. I was like freaking burning because the weather. It was already hot outside, so it was just terrible. And I want to go to the nurse's office, so it's like, and they say, you're not sick, just, because I thought I had put water on my face. Because it did kind of look like that, but I was sweating, so that might actually have something to do with it. But, and they just thought it was because of the heat anyway. So, they're like that, because I really didn't show massive signs of it, because they really didn't know that, because they was like, oh. But, so what I ended up doing is, actually I'm going to have to go to part 4 for this, but, so part 4 will be the epic conclusion to the series, to the 4-part series. Maybe I'll do part 5. So yep, part 4 will be about the epic conclusion to that school year in the extreme intensity of that moment. So yep, oh yeah, but I did go home because I did throw up all over the floor in the classroom, so they did send me home. And I was sick for a while, so that actually got me out of the situation. So that was part 3 of my life story. See ya in part 5 in like an hour.